Hi. Today on Theorist series, we're gonna take a different route and we're gonna talk about a video that I saw today. America hates shy, quiet black woman. And as you can see on the right hand side, my online therapist, crappy childhood fairy. I love her so much. Sometimes when I'm stuck, I listen to her, and she really helps. For those of you who suffer with CPTSD or think you do, or don't even know if you do, or just find you do some weird stuff, I encourage you to look at some of her videos. She will help you a lot, and you could also write into her. Anyway, this video is not about her. I watched this beautiful lady here. Her channel is Journey to Happiness, and I want to do a commentary on what it is she's going to talk about, which is America, hate shy, quiet black people. So let me stop rambling and rattling on. Let's get into it.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I would love for you to like, comment, and subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Um, this is gonna be after work chat. I think it's episode 14. But technically it's before work, but I got just a little bit of time.
Yeah, subscribe to myself. You can subscribe to her as well. But to subscribe to Theorist Theories, please. Even though I'm very new, and I'm very new, it's what, 2 weeks now? I started on the 8th, now it's the 16th, so it's not even 2 weeks. Really, just subscribe so that I can know what you like, or even email me to let me know what you like as well. It's not that I want to people please you. I know a lot about a lot of different things. So maybe if I know what people are interested in, I could have an idea about what to talk about. So right now, I am just a blind man with a blindfold in a dark room. All right, let's continue.
Before work to talk. So as you see by the title, I'm gonna be talking about being a black introvert woman in America. I have always been a shy person. Um, I've always stayed to myself. To be honest, I didn't even know there was a name for it until like a year ago. I might sound stupid, but I didn't know the word introvert existed till like a year ago on I think I first heard it on TikTok.
It's so interesting how TikTok has just educated the world. What has American schools been doing all this time for somebody to be in a school and not even know what their personality type? And this is the simplest personality type. I mean, if I remember correctly, they have the mayor's something personality type as well, and she doesn't even know. So that's very sad. But anyhow, for those of you who don't know, um, and for those of you who know, and if you have a different definition of an introvert, comment in the comments below. Say something. Tell me something. Uh, an introvert is someone who really likes to keep to themselves. They're observant. They are very quiet. And as a person who used to be identified as an introvert, I have trained myself to be an ambivert because society does not like too many quiet people, and we'll talk about that as we go along. Uh, she It's not just America. It's a cultural thing throughout. Once you're black in throughout the world, you cannot be quiet. They must hear your voice. But let's continue.
But I'm definitely an introvert. I've been that way my whole life. I might meet people. There's some people I may meet and I instantly just click with them. Something just clicks and we become friends, whether it's at work or through other people or whatever. But besides that, normally I stay to myself. I don't really trust people. And I'm a natural introvert. That's just the way I am. Like I said, I've been that way my whole life. I remember back in middle school, sometimes I would get bullied because I was the shy, quiet girl. Um,
So she said a lot there. And sometimes I wonder, because I'm not a therapist, but sometimes I wonder if introversion really is a symptom of trauma. Because she said she basically said she's quiet because she doesn't trust people. And I get that. It's like you literally are scoping out people to see what they are and what they will do. You are literally just waiting, just watching at the corner of your eye to be like, okay, are you really honest? Are you really loyal? Are you really dedicated? With respect to just clicking with people, um, I in my own self don't trust clicking with people, because what that means is we are patterning persons on first instance based on those who have been good to us in the past, instead of actually seeing them for who they are. Um, as a past introvert, again, as I said, I trained myself to be an ambivert because I have to go out in the world and talk to people in my day to day. You have to be able to smile with persons while measuring them out.
and that's literally just who I naturally am. I can't help it. I think as I've gotten older, I have gone came out of that shell a little bit, but for the most part, that's just still who I am, even as an adult. And almost, uh, not almost, literally every job that I have worked at, every job. And I've had several different jobs over the years. It never fails. I hear this from somebody, really multiple people. You're so quiet. It's either you're so quiet, or why are you so quiet? I hear this at school, college, wherever I'm at.
Yeah, when people ask you that, what I found, or what at least I tell myself, is that at least I tell myself, because we tell ourselves things, right, to be able to go through the day. I don't have any evidence if it's true or not. What I find is that that has nothing to do with you. People ask that because sometimes they can't deal with the quiet in their minds. Sometimes it's because they are used to the environment of the constant chatter of noise. It's like an alien being amongst human beings. It's something strange. You grow up with persons and a noisy household, and you go into a workplace that's a noisy household, and then you meet this individual who's just says good morning and then goes when they are leaving and says good evening, and didn't gossip throughout the day, didn't mention how cute the delivery guy is throughout the day. They just do their work and they just stick to what they have to do. So I try to put myself in their shoes. It is weird, especially if you're not used to it. Um, and they are weird from a introvert's perspective, because for whatever reason an introvert is an introvert, if it's personality or trauma. uh you surround yourself with persons who will encourage your introversion, and then when you meet this person who is always making noise, and when I say always making noise, I don't want your extroverts to come after me, please. Y'all are always talking, and sometimes silence is the key to peace, and it's like y'all don't get that. Um, so for us, it's like we aren't able to regulate ourselves and to just be in our own peace because of that contradiction.
I hear that. And it gets kind of, I'm used to it. I haven't worked one job where somebody hasn't asked me that question. Somebody actually asked me that yesterday, where they said, "You're so quiet." And I don't understand that because, okay, so yesterday, right, I was giving out medicine, And I get the medicine. I speak to the patient, say, "Hey, Miss Such and Such, how you doing today? I have your medicine." And the CNA that was in her, I don't think she meant it as an insult, but she was like, "You're so quiet. What do you want me to say?" I'm giving her her medicine. I said, "Hey, how you do?" I know how to talk to patients. "Hey, how you doing, Miss Such and Such? How you doing today? How you feeling today? I have your medicine here." Is that not what I'm supposed to say? What you want me to ask her about her childhood? Like, what you want me to give out a speech? What the hell do you want me to say?
Yes. Yes. Extroverts and extroverts, if you are here in this feed or in this video or whatever it's called, it's midnight where I am. So I am out of it. Uh the yes, basically that is what people want. People want you to ask them about themselves. There is a there I was listening to, those motivational stuff, and someone said a story about a guy who went to this dinner, and all he did, he met this other guy in business, and the other guy, all he was talking about his family, his life, etc. And all the original guy did, or the quiet guy, let's say, did was ask him about his life and just keep asking him. And at the end of the night, the guy who kept talking was like, "Oh my gosh, you're such a good listener." And the guy did not even, first guy number one did not even get to to say anything. Um, and guy number two was like, "You're such a good listener, and you're such a good speaker, and you're such a good conversationalist." And so listening is equated um with listening and asking questions, I should say, is equated with, being talkative and being extroverted. If you just stick to the basics, persons, they question that because they aren't getting the opportunity to share themselves. And as human beings, what I found in my lifespan of almost 40 something years is that people love to share themselves. They will share themselves on the bus, they will share themselves on the street to complete strangers. And maybe that's why therapy is such a big thing right now, because um people want to share themselves, but because of the advancement of technology and the increased loneliness, because of where society is going, because of technology, people go to therapists to be their source of being able to share.
So, like, I never understood that. So introverts, they have a hard time out here because I believe introverts are misunderstood. We're considered kind of weird. There's a lot of to society because in America it's normal. You're supposed to have like a group of friends. You're supposed to be social, especially at work. You're supposed to make small talk, and I'm really I don't like small talk. Like, what's the point? Like, I don't nothing against you, but I don't care about what you got going on, what you had for dinner, or whatever. Unless, like I said, sometimes I might meet a coworker that me and that person, just something about their personality, um, we just click. Then I might make talk with you, but other than that, I don't really care for small talk.
Yeah, small talk is very difficult for introverts because it's unproductive. It's just so unproductive. Why am I talking to you about your shoes and the weather and how traffic is? What are we going to get from that? What am I going is patient number five going to get their medication from that? are we going to put all these files away from having that conversation? And the answer is no. But introverts also need to put themselves um, in other person's shoes and realize this is not just about you in terms of your capacity to interact with persons or persons' capacity to interact with you. You need to understand that this is also a career challenge. And if you continue this way, um, it might affect your ability to progress, because nobody's going to think about the silent person when they're going to try to make a promotion most times. It's the person who talks, interacts with A, interacts with B, goes by supervisor X all the time, sits in his office for an hour and never really do any real work. That who sometimes, and most times, if you read books about leadership and you read articles on BBC, you'll see that they are the ones who get promoted, and then you're just there working. And sometimes you will see it, you're just there working under a person and they are so incompetent, and you are like, how in the world did you get to that position? And that is how, because they interacted, they talk, they built relationships. So while an introvert is there trying to, well, not trying, but picking out persons who they connect with, they are missing out on opportunities. And she may learn this lesson later on in life. She'll see it eventually.
You know what I mean? Um, so all my life I've been labeled as the quiet girl, and I still get labeled that as an adult. And I like being by myself. I'm the type of person, I don't mind going out to eat by myself. I actually enjoy it. I know that's not considered. I see more people do it nowadays versus like years ago, eating out by themselves. Like years ago, it used to be like if you went out to eat by yourself, you were considered a loser, or oh, people feel sorry for you, or it's just it's looked at as weird. But I do see a little bit of more people going out to eat by themselves, going even taking vacations by themselves. But it's still not considered like the normal thing to do. Most people don't do it though. Um, I was actually surprised. I just went to Old Charlie's by myself. They have really good food, by the way. And their rolls. Anyway, there was actually another woman, happened to be a black woman, sitting by the bar, and she was by herself too. And I was surprised because
Yeah, I do a lot of traveling by myself actually. Uh I traveled last year to St. Martin by myself. And when I was single, oh, I did everything by myself. I went hiking, I went to dinner, I went to movies, I went to, all these things alone. The thing with introverts is that even though they enjoy, it's not that we don't enjoy people's company, is that it's not that just because you're an introvert, like I see, okay, let me start over. Just because you're an introvert doesn't mean you don't like outside. Like I see these videos on TikTok, or introverts like to take off the light and cover themselves up in this big thick blanket and just doom scroll on the internet. Before TikTok came into existence, that is not what introverts were doing. And I don't even think that's what they do right now. Like I enjoy being outside. It's just the energy of people that is very hard, and that was very hard before I tried to push myself into being an ambivert. It's very hard to deal with all the continuous energies that come from persons, right? But the thing is, when you travel by yourselves and you go these places by yourself, um even though you are quite comfortable being by yourself, there is always that, well, for me anyway, that knowing in the back of your mind that you are by yourself. So she said that society finds it weird. Did anybody come to her and say, hey, weirdo, why are you sitting by yourself? No. Did anybody watch her up and down and just shoo 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 to their husband and their kids and then point a finger and say, "Oh, look at that person. They are so by themselves. Why are they by themselves? They couldn't bring a husband, a mother, a father, a friend." Um, no, it's the programming that we have gotten from childhood and from growing up, in our minds, that being by yourself is a problem. And that is a programming that only, as we can see from crappy childhood fairy therapy and therapy fairy and any sort of therapist that may be hard to shake. Even if you shake it, you know that society, because you have been told early on in life, if you are by yourself, you are a weirdo. So any action by anyone will make you think that is what they are thinking. And they may not even be thinking that.
It's just not the normal thing to do, or what society labels it as not normal to go out to eat. Like, especially not like at a real restaurant. I think like fast food is more acceptable. If you like a real sit down restaurant, if you go out to eat by yourself, people look like you crazy sometimes. But I actually enjoy. I don't mind going out to eat by myself. I don't have to have company when I'm going out to eat. I got my earbuds in. I'm able to listen to music or videos. Like, it's a whole vibe. It's a whole vibe. I got good food. I like eating out by myself. Like, and there's lots of times where, I work a lot now, or if there's a friend I have, they don't really have the money, and there's been times where, like, anyway, I'm not gonna get into all of that, but anyway, I want to focus on one thing here: the introvert. Oh,
Yeah, before she picks up her phone because she dropped it. What I will say as well, I think it's also an American thing. While I said before that it's the whole world that may hate shy, quiet black women once there are black people in the population, depending on the country. Some countries, they do have some amount of compassion or some amount of understanding that people go places by themselves. Like, for example, when I went to Curacao, uh, I had dinner by myself all the time. I had breakfast by myself, and it was awesome, right? Because there was a vibration in Curacao that was just love. So even if you met someone, you never felt alone, because, I mean, Curacao by itself, I think, if I remember correctly, is interpreted from the Dutch, I think it is, word into love. And it was just an energy of love and excitement and acceptance. So you are meeting a waiter, or a server, and if the server is an older woman, that older woman treated me as if I was her daughter, right? So I did not feel in the hotel, that the server for the dining space, she treated me as if I was her child. And I did not feel alone. I go somewhere else and I eat. I made friends. I went dancing. I danced chest to chest with men. That's the first time I did ballroom dancing, but Curacao style. So it's surely, if you feel excluded, and a more American thing. So depending on where you go, being by yourself or being an introvert is actually, not a big deal, right? um yeah, so let's get her to pick up her phone.
oh my god. I'm sorry, y'all. This video is not going to be edited, so y'all are going to see that. I just dropped the phone. But yeah, um, so I feel like introverts in America, we are considered the not normal people. But I feel like, so introverts have kind of a hard time. Um, but black women introverts, I believe we have it. From what I see, we have it even worse because with a black woman, being a black woman, the stereotype is what? Being loud, outgoing. You have to know how to dance. You have to know how to braid hair. You have to be very social. We show up and show out. We, very out there, aggressive, outspoken, right? That's the stereotype of black women. We're not supposed to be scared of anything, supposed to know how to fight. That's a stereotype, right? And I feel like because of that, black women introverts have it even worse than, like a white woman introvert or any other race that is a introvert and a woman. And I'm very shy.
Yeah, this is the last point that I'm going to make. I'm going to end this commentary. Dude, I don't think that she should compare herself. No, not that I don't think that she should compare herself. I think that black women on a whole have their challenges no matter what you will always feel, once whatever you are, you will always feel that you have that worst. I am sure there's a black woman who is loud, loves to dance, the life of the party, who always feels that somebody is trying to quiet them, right? I'm sure that there is a white and a white woman who's out there feeling completely invisible and even looking at the black woman and saying, I wish I could be as confident as you. And they so everybody always feels that they have it the worst. That is our programming to survival in my book. Um, but what I would say is that, and this is a challenge that, well, I know, well, not that everybody has, but I've come into recognition, not self-esteem but self-worth, knowing that what you are has worth in it and you could play with it to get an advancement in your life. And you can, as a quiet person, and she said that later on in the video, so I encourage you to go on her channel. um you can observe as a quiet person. Your observation skills are awesome. You see a villain before anybody else sees a villain. Like sometimes you are just there telling people, look, this person is not to be trusted. And they're like, no, no, he's so great or she's so great and they're so nice. Why are you like that? And then when that person backstabs everybody in the office and or runs off with the whole petty cash, they're like, oh my, in fact, they wouldn't even, your coworkers wouldn't even tell you, hey, you were right. It would just be like, because you're quiet, right? So there are goods and bads to just being a human being. And American black women who are shy do have a challenge. But what I would also say is, as a black woman, a Caribbean black woman, who is, I mean, I was told that I was quiet just 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I'm being quiet, and I'm like, I went on an outing. I'm like, in my mind, I didn't take it personally. You can't take it personally because you must know that your quietness is also a form of regeneration, especially if you're in a crowd and you can't run away or jump through a window or stop the car and say, I'm going back home. It's a way to regenerate, to renew yourself, because you still have to live tomorrow. This is a theorist.